Welcome to the North Coast Podcast. We are so lucky to be here at Sweet Tea Studio today. Before we introduce our guest, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Douglas Widick.
Yeah, I want to introduce myself too. My name is Mel Rubin.
I would like to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Brick.
And we are here with an incredible Dutch music maker, self-proclaimed, but composer, incredible music production genius, all the way from across the ocean, two-time Emmy-winning musical director at Boom Chicago. It is Sacha Hoedemaker.
Hey,
Hoedemaker.
Hoedemaker.
That's cool.
And just one Emmy?
Just one,
Okay,
actually.
all right.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
Emmy. Oh.
We were putting it into the universe. We think there's going to be a second.
I think it's
Thank you.
coming.
I think it's coming.
That's so kind. Like,
I
just
feel the
manifest that stuff. Like,
Hell yeah.
You are so talented. The first time I saw you in Amsterdam, I was just like, "Oh my gosh, you're like an octopus, tentacles out during a show at Boom Chicago." And you're like, you got the loops, you got the laptop, you got the piano, and I just feel like when I'm in the presence of people like you, you're kind of a different breed of person in terms of artistic creation.
That's so kind. Well, I think exactly the same of you, actually. It's really, no, but it's really, I think, no, but it's, I mean, you as well, Brick, and Mel, I don't know you just yet.
There
but
it is. It's
I
coming.
I already see it. No, it's coming.
The
There we
pressure
go.
is on.
No,
And Mel, you're just all right.
no, absolutely not. No, it's really funny because I highly believe that when you sync up with certain people in life and you know exactly what type of person they are, and I had that with you as well, where I was like, oh, this is the person I'm supposed to meet right now, and this is really cool to also creatively. I think we are very much on the same page, and I've been following you just as much. So I love the stuff you do. So
Thank you, Sasha.
what an honor.
I really appreciate that. That's so kind.
What a wholesome beginning.
I know this is
Now let's rock.
fuck everything, fuck everyone. No,
I love you.
Oh, so we can swear? Is that okay?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could swear. You could swear. Yeah.
Even though whenever Apple Podcast asks me if it's an explicit podcast, I never click it.
Yeah.
I never say
It's explicit light.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's diet explicit.
Yeah,
I love it.
but yeah,
But thank you.
yeah, just the last me groveling is like, yeah, the first time I performed with you, it was funny because we were supposed to do the North Coast show together. And then I ended up doing this, quote, All-Stars show with you. And I was like, holy moly, your accompaniment lifted the whole show, like up by like 10 notches. And that show is a high I've been riding ever since. That was a special All-Stars show.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's so
I mean,
amazing.
I felt like it. When Brendan Hunt
Yeah,
came back, and
right.
yeah, it was a really fun.
Oh, that's fun.
Sasha was like, we have one of those every day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
he's over on that. No. Actually, no. It was super special for us as well, just as much. And shout out to Stacey Smith, who obviously but she got the whole thing together. Like those kind of things, is you need these kind of people to bring people together, and
Yeah.
I think that was done. Beautifully. So thank you so much. That's
you're so welcome.
amazing to hear.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. All right, groveling done. Groveling completed.
Yeah,
It's so
groveling.
uncomfortable. I'm
Check.
All right, Mel, you start the legitimate interview because I'm just gonna
legitimate.
I'm just gonna keep groveling and hanging out.
Yeah, let me just get my papers with all of my notes on them. No, I mean, you're here in New York. You
That's
don't
right.
live here, so I feel like you're coming to New York. It's March. We're kind of in this weird second, like fall, spring, winter. You don't know if it's going to be 65 or if it's going to be 45 every day. We're kind of in that weird windy 50 day. But my question to you is like, how long are you here? A few days, a week?
just 5 days.
5 days.
I think. Yeah, I arrived on Friday.
Yeah.
And yeah, when
Is that
there's a
how
pia-
it felt when you landed?
Exactly. It was
Yeah,
like,
you know what I
and
feel like.
KLM, we are done right now.
Second
We're just going to be singing this entire episode.
Can I? Yeah, I'm
yeah.
scoring it. Like,
I love it.
That's so funny. When I have a
Yeah.
piano in front of me, it's like I have to do this.
Of
now.
course.
I'm here for 5 days, and initially I didn't really have a plan at first. I had a couple things that I wanted to check off my list, but then I was like, I'm really just open and seeing like New York, because I had been here in September and I really liked it, and I was like, I gotta go back, and I'm here with my girlfriend now, and
Yeah.
it's just wonderful, and it's fantastic.
What
Yeah.
are some things on the list that you want to check off? I know you said you saw a Broadway show
I wanted
last
to see
night.
another Broadway show. I saw The Notebook and cried for 2 hours.
Lovely.
Literally, like, yeah, I'm I'm man enough. I'll be able to.
Yeah. We love a man who can cry.
And European men are more in touch with their emotions. I feel like.
I feel as a European that
Yeah.
that must be true. No. Yeah, so I wanted to see another Broadway show for sure. I wanted to just go shopping, obviously, do the stand-up stuff.
Are we talking about Saks Fifth? Are you hitting the outlets in Jersey? Or are you
Bloomingdale's? Oh, we're doing Bloomies.
No. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously everywhere, but
Here's the thing. It's so interesting because I live in New York and I work at a school. That's like my full-time job. And I'm currently on spring break, which is why I'm getting to do this on a Monday afternoon right now. And I don't travel during my actual spring break. I travel a couple weeks later. So for me, this is my week to like be a tourist in my own city. So I'm like kind of almost looking to you to be like, wait, like what should I do this week? Because I never go to Bloomingdale's.
But
I haven't seen The Notebook.
What would you do instead then? Like if I hadn't told you, what would you do?
What would I do?
Oh, wow.
With one whole week in the greatest city in the world? What would I do?
Hey, I'm walking.
An angry man. Okay. So, with my week off, what would I do? Could I see you or you? Cause if I couldn't, I would have a lot of me time, and that would be fine. Maybe I could beat rhyme. I would hit up my friend Kayla, my lady. She would teach it all. Yeah, she's the greatest lady. She would teach me beatboxing tricks, and maybe then I would go pick up sticks in Central Park.
Oh, what would you do with a week just for you?
What would I do with a week just for you?
You could go anywhere. You could brush your hair.
Oh, what would I do
with a week just for you?
Oh. Whew, I don't know. Maybe I would drink a little matcha. Maybe I would hit up my new friend Sacha. He would play the keys, he would play them for me, and the sound of those keys would bring me right to my knees. And maybe then I would be, yo, Sacha, I ain't messing. Maybe I could sign up for a little piano lesson. I could learn all 88 of them, tickle them ivories. How does that sound? That sounds pretty fine to me. What would you do?
What would you do with a week just for you?
With a week just for you. What would you do with a week just for you?
Learn piano, stroll down the Central Boulevard. What would you do?
What would I do
with a week just for you?
Where? Central Boulevard.
Yeah, you could go to Williamsburg and eat for free, or you could get a pizza at Linda Street.
Ooh.
You could go to Pasta Louise. Oh wait, that's where you already go, and it would bring you to your knees. So you should go to somewhere that's without fail. Maybe do some high tea at Bloomingdale's.
Oh.
Do they do high tea, or is that just Barney's? Or you could go to the outlets in New Jersey.
What would you do with a week just for you? What would you do with a week just for you? You could see
The Notebook.
you could read a real book. Oh, what would you do?
What would you do?
What would you do
With a week for
Did we just do a 3-part?
We just
I'm
did.
never quite sure.
This just turned from the hip hop to acapella. Hip acapella.
I think I have a 28% success rate with 3-part harmonies on my end.
You nailed that.
I did.
Roll the tape.
Yeah. Take it back.
Yeah.
We can melodyne it so it makes sure it's
Yeah.
There we go. There we go.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so you saw The Notebook.
Also, for
You're-
being
yeah.
vocally
Oh, yes.
cold, I feel like that was pretty.
Vocally cold.
It's
Does
a
that mean
little
you're-
early in the day. I didn't
Oh.
warm up
Oh,
yet.
I'm so sorry that I had to.
Yeah.
I didn't
Should
know
we
we were.
pause it?
Wait, what's your Sasha? What's your favorite vocal warm up? Maybe we could do one real quick. You got a silly one?
Many mumbling mice are making midnight music in the moonlight. Mighty
my.
nice.
Let's
Do you know that
subject
one?
the listeners to that.
Yeah. Let's just do let's do a speed round.
All right.
Many
mumbling mice.
Nice. There we go. Now I'm warm.
Wow.
See?
Thank you. I'm
That helps.
vocally
Already.
warm now.
It's like honey.
Like honey. Oh man. Okay, so you got Bloomingdale's. You saw The Notebook. What else is on the
Okay,
list?
so what else? I'm seeing Seth Meyers later today.
That's amazing.
Hell yeah.
And
That's
when
gonna be amazing.
he came to Boom Chicago last year, did you get to perform with him at all?
Yes, actually. So he had a little thing, and I don't know exactly the name of the show that it was in, but I know it was called, and now it escapes me, it was Crayons. And it's this beautiful thing with Jill Benjamin, and they're basically just, I can't tell much about it because it's just so good. You have to see it, because if I explain it, it wouldn't do it justice. But it's literally just two people talking to preschoolers or teenagers or whatever as a couple, and they're fighting, and it's the best, like, crying laughter, so much fun, and their brains together, it's
Wow.
They have two things that I know that they Seth Meyers and Jill Benjamin do together, and it's out of this world. Like, it's
Wow.
unbelievable improv. It's simple. It uses their intelligence. It uses their style of humor as well, and it's just like to be able to score that, and it's just like. And it's really like that, and you're
the
just
kind of music I
but it's just so
what I hear in
fun.
my head every day when I
Exactly.
walk down the street.
This is my life.
This
I
is
am
my life.
Sacha. This is my life every time.
show.
Oh, that's so good.
So they performed that last year? I think, for the 30th anniversary. And so I got to play with Seth Meyers and Brendan Hunt, obviously. But I also, since at that time, I was tech director at Boom Chicago as well. Besides being music director, I was tech director.
Double
as well.
duty.
I was double dutying.
Whoa.
Yeah, because that pandemic, I needed some extra like hours and stuff. Because,
Sure.
Wow.
there were no shows back in 2020. And so I became tech director in 2020. Yeah.
So were
And
you
then-
like reading lighting for dummies? Like, okay, how do I
Basic-
do the
well, I
electrician for
figure out the
dummies?
job.
Yeah.
I love everything that has to do with tech. I studied at Abbey Road Institute.
Shout outs.
Exactly, Abbey Road. That's so beautiful. Look, they even got me a cup. Look
For our
Yeah.
YouTube
on the
watchers.
audio. Yeah, exactly.
I don't
Your
know if you're
fingers
just like
covering it.
super humble or if you're just like kind of desensitized to all the cool things you've done, but everything you've said so far has kind of blown my mind, and you say it like you're just like as if you're just saying I just took a sip of my tea. You're like oh yeah, no, I did do a show with Seth Meyers, blah 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 blah, like as if it's no big deal, and then you're like I studied at Abbey Road and nobody's heard of it. Like
Well,
these are huge accomplishments.
It was so
This is
much
awesome.
fun. Yeah, but it's funny because I never saw them as something that I would do,
Yeah.
obviously, but it was so I had to invest in myself. Like there was no other way to do that. I had to say yes to an opportunity to work at Boom Chicago. I never envisioned these, but I said yes to, and I was at the right place at the right time. Like literally, that's everything in my life.
Yeah.
And I take that fully. And every time that I see an opportunity like that, I'm like, yes, let's go for it 100%.
Gotta say yes. That's awesome.
And that's it. Like that's literally improv as well. Or obviously, it's like yes and.
Has it ever backfired on you? Your hard yesing?
I'm sure. At the moment, I can't think of anything that is like, okay, unless we go into really deep personal stuff, which save that for a different podcast.
Sure.
But I've been very grateful, very lucky as well, or fortunate. I don't like to say lucky because that's chance, and I don't believe in chance that much. I see it like fortunate to get those opportunities at the right time.
Yeah,
it's
that's awesome.
It's the reason also why I'm like sporting this Dr. Peacock.
Yeah,
coat,
tell us
actually.
Yeah,
about.
let's
I
know
wanna-
about yours.
Yeah. So we have the same
So
question.
yeah, Raquel, we were getting some info on you, and she was like, he likes to do hardcore music, and it's this show called Dr. Peacock. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. I look it up. It's phenomenal. In 2029, in the future.
In the future.
Oh my God.
In the year 2029, Sasha was working on a show he had already worked on in 2019. 10 years ago. What is Dr. Peacock? We still do not know. What is Dr. Peacock? Tell us, will you tell us what's Dr. Peacock? We still do not know. What is Dr. Peacock? We still do not know.
Well, let me tell you actually. So Dr. Peacock is a hardcore band. Well, Dr. Peacock himself is a DJ. And the music we do is 200 BPM. So that means it goes something like this is actually slower, so it should even be faster. Anyway, let me quit this song and tell you actually. Because I can't.
I was jamming. That was
So
awesome.
much for Dr. Peacock.
So much that was too bad. Oh no. So Dr. Peacock is a DJ, and he started 20 years ago doing something that was really in the Euro dance, right? Hardcore.
This is a real person.
It's a real
Oh,
person.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
his name is Steve, and it's his name is Steve, and he's phenomenal.
Hey, that's Steve? No, it's Dr. Peacock.
Yeah, that's it. But he's such a sweet guy. But so I met him in 2019 when I was studying at Abbey Road, and I just was again at the right time at the right place. I was playing something, and I was playing this. Something from Lucid, what is it? Requiem for a Dream.
Oh.
Something like that. Anyway, and so he was like, "Yeah, can you play that with us? We have a band, and we're looking for somebody who can play piano, and like obviously you can play this. So why don't you record it with us?" I was like, "Okay, what speed?" And he said 200 BPM. I was like, "How fast is that? That's very fast." Well, no, you can play it half tempo. Yeah, so it's da dum da 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 dum da 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 dum da 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 da. So it's like we just play it half tempo. Anyway. So I played it and I looked it up later. And so he had this thing called Peacock in Concert. And I thought, well, that's phenomenal. That's super cool because we do this music with a live orchestra. And it's I just heard like...
I know, I heard that too. That was 3 cabs honking in harmony.
Yeah, and I looked it up and I was like, this is fantastic. And he was like, yeah, so you really hit it off with the band, and like let's keep in touch. Actually, are you available in October? And I was like, yeah, sure. What do we do? It's like a couple hundred people. No, this was 4,000 people. And I was like, oh, that's fun.
Oh
that's
my
that's exciting.
God.
Where? Well, in a town called Tilburg. It's in the Netherlands.
Okay.
And it was. I was there for the first time and I was like, what's happening here?
Oh my
Like,
God.
this is incredible. And obviously, like, it's hardcore. So there's people who go absolutely insane. And it's so beautiful to witness. And it's this music with 2 violins, a cello, sometimes a drummer, but an electric guitar player,
So it's like
opera singer.
It's like movie scores that are played at like a faster tempo, or no?
No, it's everything.
It's
so
everything.
it's like world music. We create stuff together. So I create this type of classical music. So I wrote this thing called Mad Masquerade, and it's this.
Ooh.
Ooh. Someone walking into the ocean.
Something like that.
Wow.
And it's
Beautiful.
just I just created that with him sitting next to me, and then it's like, okay, this is the anthem. This is literally the anthem for the show. And so we opened the show with this, and then like with it's you gotta play it at some point. It's ridiculous, and it's so hard. And from a production, Douglas, you will absolutely love it because.
I can't wait.
Do you know LUFSs? If you know like the loudness.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if you mix hip hop, it's about 6, 5,
Yeah.
7, 6 LUFS. This goes to 0. Or
Oh
like
my
1.
God.
It's literally
It's just-
it's just
Yeah.
it's pure energy in audio form, and it's so beautiful. It's like really, really intense.
I'm pumped. I can't
And
wait.
then to do that, and so then our last show was in Echelon, or in one of our biggest last shows was in Echelon Festival in Germany, and then suddenly there were 50,000 people.
Oh
Just
my goodness.
absolute madness.
Wow.
And you're there in a suit and just like going absolutely
I feel like you
nuts.
would bust out of the suit like Superman.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Too much energy.
Soaked, it was great.
And now when I think hardcore, I think screaming.
Yeah.
Like I think,
Yeah, but
is there
that's-
some of that or no?
No, I mean we have like we do a Metallica song sometimes,
Okay.
like Fade to Black. But we do what's
He's busting out of his suit.
I know, I
now.
can
If
tell.
you're watching on YouTube, Sasha's treating this like a game of strip poker.
Ayo.
Every time we ask him
every
a
time
question.
you talk about hardcore, the clothes go off. No. It's hardcore in the sense of dance. So it's the old 90s. You had this thing called hippie, like happy hardcore.
Okay.
It was like hardcore, then hard style became a thing, then jump style or something like became a thing, and it's just been evolving for the last 30 years. Like this dance go faster and faster and faster, and now it goes up to speedcore, which sometimes reaches like 500 BPM, which is literally like.
What?
It's literally like just
It's that.
Yeah, it's intense. But
musical espresso.
It's
Yeah.
literally it's trying to get the most out of stretch the universe, basically. Try to create a black hole in audio, basically. It's like how far can you take it?
Yeah.
And apparently, and it does something to you when you listen to it, and especially I mean in Europe, like there is a lot of obviously like sometimes drugs get used to go to
Sure.
these parties. It's like,
Yeah.
but I understand like what it does to elevate. Like people are trying to escape, so escape as far as possible where you can, and like it's really very special to see. Obviously, a lot of people don't use drugs, but I see a lot of people that do that really like escape into a whole new world. And I think it's
Wow.
whatever you need, obviously, but as long as you do it with a measure. How do you say that in
Yeah.
Dutch? We have an
Yeah.
expression met mate, which is like as long as you do it
In moderation,
in
maybe?
moderation,
Yeah.
or like at least you know what you're doing and
Yeah.
you have a control over it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't want to.
Wanna go harder, do it in Mata. If go harder, do it in Mata.
If you wanna go harder,
do it in Mata.
If you wanna go harder, do it in Mata.
Okay, if you wanna do some drugs at the music station, then you gotta do it with self-awareness and moderation. Don't do it like an American. No, you gotta do it like someone in England or Dutchland or not Deutschland in the Netherlands. Because those people do it with so much care. If you're gonna get high, then do not stare off into the distance. You gotta get it on lock. Go to a concert done by the Peacock.
If you wanna go harder, do it in Mata. If you wanna go harder,
Do it in Mata.
if you wanna go harder,
Do it in Mata.
If you wanna go harder,
Do it in Mata.
It's good for the body, it's good for the soul. It's like an audio musical, a black hole. We are traveling down this road and we don't know where it's going. All we know is that the drugs and the music both be flowing, but we doing it carefully, we doing it smart. We doing drugs right while we listen to art, and we are brought to our knees. We say, oh yes please, Sasha, bring me to my knees while you're playing those keys.
If you wanna go harder,
do it in Mata. If you wanna go harder, do it in Mata. If you wanna go harder, do it in Mata. If you wanna go harder, do it in Mata. Ooh.
This would sound better with a 500 beats per minute drum and bass over it. I wish this was faster and louder and harder and better, and that I wish I was on drums. I wish I was on drums
Anymore. If you wanna go harder, do it in Mata. If you wanna go harder, do it in Mata. Wanna go harder, do it in Mata. Wanna go harder, give it go harder, give it go, give it go, give it go, give it go. Wanna go.
Did we get the essence of a Peacock concert
Basically,
there?
this for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Usually it's a 1 hour show, but it's like you're exhausted. But the nice thing is that there's a lot of that build up, right? So even when we did just that, those
Yeah.
like there's quite a nice range of like beautiful instrumental, and then there's just this build that just goes like insane. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome because
Yeah.
it's not all about the it's about the build towards that and then the
Absolutely.
release release, tension and release.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's literally it's I think it's almost 50-50 in terms of, because you cannot go like
No.
this.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
that's the only way to dance to it.
Yeah.
Literally this. You see 40,000 people going like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, if you're not watching the YouTube, you're
pumping
missing
fists.
out on Sacha right now. He's getting undressed while dancing
Yeah,
right now.
I'm completely naked right now.
I feel like there's like an improv equivalent to this too, where it's like if you do long form improv, it's like, you know, you can't come into a scene at a 10 being like, I'm a zebra and you're a spaceship and we're all barking
And
dogs.
Jesus.
It's like, wait, what? And Jesus is here. You like can't do that, so you have to like have a moment where you're grounded, right? So that's like the slow build, the music,
Exactly.
and then you earn
Yeah.
that, but then it has to come back down for the payoff, or else if you're just there the whole time, it loses
Exactly.
the effect, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's, and I think that's in all types of
Sure,
art. Or
right.
even when I'm composing classical pieces, I'm also thinking
Yeah.
like that. Like, how can I build from here or not give away too much at the beginning? Like even So
Yeah.
it's
We were listening to some of your classical pieces before you
It
got
was
here.
beautiful.
Thank
oh my
you.
gosh.
And I got the same little tingle that I do when I listen to Eric Satie.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
Yeah, I was like, wow, these are so wistful.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so beautiful. And it's funny because you're not the first person to say that, but I take that with such, like, I love his music. Like it's so
Yeah, could you give us a little taste?
of my music.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's one song actually that's Emil's my technician.
Love Emil.
Emil is phenomenal. He's he's the best improv technician in the world.
It's shocking.
It's unbelievable.
It's actually shocking.
And he likes this piece, and it's called Meditation. And it's the first piece I ever wrote, actually, for the sake of classical writing. I don't know if it's actually can be considered classical, but it's just very simple, and it goes.
Mic drop.
Mic drop. Literally mic drop.
I'll,
Yeah,
that
it's
is
so
I'll
funny.
edit the
gorgeous.
mic drop out. That was
No.
stunning, man.
So it's just like
Oh,
once
so
once I realized, like, oh, this is just so funny to make these compositions and to think about, you know, what story do I have to tell? And actually how I write, I don't know, maybe I'm jumping ahead, but how I write is like, it's literally, I close my eyes, I think about like whatever, it doesn't matter, and then something will flow from there. And I have so much respect for the things that you do with words, and I hope that I somewhat like don't like pat my own shoulder or pat my own back like that, but I hope to be doing that with melodies and harmonies in some way, where I just let the point A where I start from, let that be the guide towards the journey of seeing where it goes next. I do that with improv in general. Like every time I score a scene, I start somewhere. Doesn't matter where I start, but as long as I get inspiration to see where the next point is, and that's always the scene or an audience member, and like that's how I've been teaching myself as well,
Yeah.
is how to think about music, right? It's just it's a road, and I love walking that road, sort of.
Ugh.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I do it every day for the last 13, 14 years. So
Hell
it's like, yeah.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
so awesome.
How
I'm
d-
so amazed. You say you're amazed by like, you know, that we can make things up and that we're sort of doing something similar. But if I sit down to write anything, I'm just like, I can't do what you do, where I can't just think of anything and like have that be my starting point and then let that lead to the next thing and whatever. I'm just like, where do I begin? It's like the
Right.
getting started, where I'm always amazed by people like you that you're like, oh, I'm just going to think of a street that I like. Oh, that inspires
Well,
this tune.
J Street, for instance. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, sure. The J.
Yeah,
Yeah, how
true.
does J Street
J
sound? to you?
Street sound. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's okay. So it's an intersection, right?
Yeah.
And it's like it's got these crossroads, and well, I've only just like I came from Herald Square to to York Street, and then immediately I was in J Street. So I would say, well, first of all, you have G, H I J. So J would be a C. It would be quite
Whoa.
high. I would go C, but it's got all these intersections.
minor.
So it's
We're
C,
starting in
C
minor.
C minor 9 because of. So because of
it's
these.
Sondheim now.
Exactly.
Yep.
No, actually, no.
We
that's
are in Dumbo. Industrial Brooklyn. Bobby, come home, Bobby.
Bobby.
Yeah, ooh, okay, now it's funky now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now it's Lin-Manuel.
People are walking across the street. They're looking at the Brooklyn Bridge, and they've got some people to meet in those industrial buildings. They're seeing their friends, and they're like, it's a Monday afternoon, but my weekend doesn't end in
J Street.
Woo.
On J Street.
Bobby.
There are so many things to buy and people that you'd like to meet on J Street.
On J Street.
You can get anything you want. You can even get a Crisol. You can walk down the street and the bridge. It's so good, it's a situationship with yourself. There's so many places to eat, but you can walk and see the bridges. And it's so beautiful, and there is so many things to do, like record at a studio.
At a studio.
On J Street. On J Street. On J Street.
On J Street.
Though there is you can get a block of me
On J Street. On J Street. Take the F train, then transfer to the A train if the F isn't convenient for you.
And this is a part of New York City where manufacturing was pretty, but now it's hipster lofts converted into homes.
Converted back to love. J Street. On J Street.
On J Street. Is this your exact compositional approach? On J Street. And another 100 people just got off of the train.
And another 100 people just got off of the train.
On J Street.
Street.
Yeah, so something.
That's your approach.
That's my
cool.
So
sick.
it's literally you start somewhere, but it's literally it's
know.
so magical. It's so fun, and it's and as long as you have an idea to begin with, and you can. So I'm not afraid even to share my idea later on, or like to even come up with the idea after I started, right? Because even if I start just with a random chord, I can still say, okay, well, D minor. Let's see, how can I turn this into, it's a very low. Like I always think D minor is a very low sounding thing, because I know Batman, for instance, uses a lot of D minor. For some reason, Hans Zimmer loves to write in D minor because it is just a very, also for specific types of instruments, it really works to have that low D, like those low D.
Interesting. Yeah, like drop D as well.
Drop D is like
yeah.
those. It's often seen as sort of this low thing. Okay, well then from low you can get to high. So if I were to write a piece that goes from low to high, I would start in D minor, for instance, because then you can rise up.
Wow.
You can convert it into major, for instance, and that sounds higher again. Like this would sound.
Was that the relative major,
cool.
or was that
I have
a key
no idea what
change?
that. This was low. I went. Wait, let's see what I did. So I went. It's just
Wow.
a story, right?
That's
It's-
that. God is coursing through his hands when he doesn't even know what he did.
No, so it's okay. So I did D minor to C with an E in the bass, then F, then I went. So this is all D minor scale. I think I went to A minor, then I went to B flat, and then a G major.
Okay.
That's my first kind of weird thing.
Yeah.
Is G major with a B in the bass. Then to finish, like just to keep
That's
going
a 4 if you
chromatically.
were doing on the top. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, mic drop.
Do I need to get you a better stand?
No, it's okay. I'm just
Okay.
I
He's
was
excited.
I was tech director at Boom Chicago, everyone. So I'm used to working
got
with no. So Then I went to C, as
Yeah.
in just
Which is a J.
which is the J Street. There we go.
I remember.
Just to put it in there, and then to finish it off or to get to that, I was thinking as I was here,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, actually, I want to make this happy. So the only way that I know how to really fast, or like the fastest way for me to get to happy, is then to go. And still go chromatically is to use a C sharp with an A major and then go to finish
okay.
it off in a major. So it's
Wow.
literally like to me it's super math.
Yeah.
It's just you go
Super math.
super math. Super
Sheds another layer.
yeah.
Because it felt like you were doing like little chromatic jumps instead of like
Yeah.
circle effects.
Yeah. But it's I use that chromatics.
Yeah.
So it's still chromatic, but
Yeah.
it's also a circle of fifths in a way because I go from this final one, from this C sharp,
Yeah.
but I use the A chord, and then this is so. I'm
Doug,
like,
I've never seen Doug more mesmerized.
Yeah, I love it. I love
okay,
it.
Yeah.
I'm still stuck on the line you said about 4.5 minutes ago, which was the fastest way for me to get to happy.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I just want, I just want that.
Isn't that-
I want to read that book.
Yeah.
I want to watch that
the
movie.
That's
fastest
a
road to
self-help
happy.
book.
That's a
Yeah.
self-help. That's a
Okay,
self-help.
Brene Brown, if you take this,
Yeah,
I will
the
sue.
fastest way for me to get to happy.
Yeah.
Speaking of fast ways to get places,
Oh, sure.
here's
Oh.
a segue.
I love a segue.
I would be remiss
Bam.
to have you on the podcast without chatting about the fact that you live in Amsterdam,
Right.
which is one of the coolest cities in the world. And I was just curious, like, what is the most Amsterdam thing you've ever experienced? Have you lived there your whole life?
Jesus. Yeah, I was born there. I grew up in a small town near 20 minutes away from Amsterdam.
Okay.
I studied in Amsterdam when I was 18. Then I lived there, indeed, when I was 20. And I've lived there for 15 years
Okay.
now. Yes, that's how old I am now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. So the most Amsterdam thing, oh man, it's so funny because I don't get out a lot. No, yeah, it has to do something with bikes. I have multiple stories where literally I was sick of my bike and I threw it in the canal because I was like, this bike doesn't work for me. I just like, oh my god.
What does that story sound like to you on the piano?
Ooh, that's.
We'll tell the story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I'll play
got
the,
mad at
the
your bike.
neoclassical. Okay.
Yeah.
So no, everything, you start from a place of happiness.
Yes.
Because you have to go somewhere.
Of
So
course.
I'm always
Yeah.
like, okay, so let's see. And I think just a cute.
I'm pedaling down the canals of Amsterdam. Off to get some Gouda cheese and a little flat white oat milk. It's time for my concert, but damn, this bike is busted. I think that I will throw it in the Amsterdam Canal. Fuck that bike. Fuck that bike. Ooh, yes.
Okay. I'm gonna tell my two-wheeler how I really feel. I'm gonna take apart both of its wheels, and then I'm gonna make the bike freaking choke. I'm gonna take off the chain, I'm gonna take off the spoke, I'm gonna chuck it in the Amsterdam Canal. I'm gonna chuck it in the Amsterdam Canal. That's a final choice for me. From my bike to this place, I'm gonna chuck it in the Amsterdam Canal.
No more busted ass bike that I do not like. You know I'm gonna squeal as I throw the wheel like a tyke. I'm over this thing, even though it's got 7 speeds. It needs to be a bike that succeeds. So I'll just walk. I'ma chuck it, fuck it. I'ma treat this canal like a bucket. I'ma chuck it. I don't need this bike. I can just always rent one if I really like. I'ma chuck it. Did we get that right? I'ma chuck it. He did it in the middle of the night. He's gonna chuck it.
It was middle of the day. I don't care.
He's gonna chuck it, chuck it, chuck it, chuck it. I'm not a hater. I'm not a lurver, but I think I just committed a two-wheel murder. I hid the body at the bottom of the canal, and I'ma make a choice, and that choice is freaking final. I'm not gonna dig it out, no deep sea diving. Me without that bike, well, the new me is thriving, cause the bike is gone and I'm having fun. And don't call the cops on me, cause I am not the one, because I chucked it in the Amsterdam Canal.
I'm a chuck it. I won't be the first one to do that, pal.
I'm a chuck it.
Hey, now I'm walking here.
I'm a chuck it, chuck it, chuck it, chuck it.
There are more bikes than people in Amsterdam. When I threw that bike, I said, fuck it, go ham. I don't need this no more, I'll use my 2 feet. There are plenty of sidewalks out on this street.
People said, yeah, man, you are so insane. Then now I'm just walking 2 feet in the bike lane. And they say, hey, watch, I'm walking over here. And I said, fuck you. I'm chucking in the Amsterdam. And then I chucked the bike host in the Amsterdam Canal. I chucked Steve in the Amsterdam Canal. I chucked Mel, that's me, in the Amsterdam Canal.
I chucked my laptop
In the Amsterdam Canal.
I chucked my cousin
In the Amsterdam Canal. I chucked my latte in the Amsterdam Canal. I didn't chuck myself in the canal.
Amsterdam Canal.
It got dark.
It did get dark. Wow.
That's a great story.
That was a great story. That was a great story. Is that exactly how
That's
it went?
exactly how it went. No, so that's one of them. The other one is actually the funniest one, which is it was so random. I had this beautiful, like a green sort of mountain bike. It was so good. It was like a beautiful lightweight mountain bike, and I was like, I'm so happy with this bike, and I had it for I think like a good month or so, and I was like, I got to university with it and like super happy. And then one day I just walked outside and somebody just threw it up into a lamppost.
What? So
Your
it's just,
bike got, I love that you didn't lead with this story.
it was just no. I'm just picturing it. The bike is just hanging.
It's just
from the
hanging there,
lamppost.
and the lock is like hanging from the wheel.
But the bike was still intact.
Oh, 100%.
So they had broken your lock and threw it on a lamppost.
I don't think I attached it. That is maybe my bad.
So was that Dutch passive aggression that the person was like, you didn't attach it correctly,
Exactly.
so I'm throwing it up
So
there?
yeah, exactly.
I love that.
You didn't do it correctly, so here it is.
In New York, your bike gets stolen within 2.5 seconds
right.
of being outside without a
it's
lock.
gone.
And I love that in Amsterdam, like it won't get stolen. You'll just get taught a hard lesson.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was that is, and I understand, and now I learned.
I know, and they learned
Yeah,
something.
and then you get your passport. You are correct. Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
my
No,
God.
that's so
That's
funny.
so great.
That is so good.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, I know we have to
Yeah.
wrap up soon because you have to
Oh, really?
you have to go
Yeah, you
meet
gotta
Seth.
go.
I don't know. We
Yeah.
don't want you to be late, but I guess we'll leave off by asking like, what's something that you're working on now that you're excited
Yes.
about, or something coming up that you can
that's
talk
so
about?
Cool. Oh, that's
Yeah.
so nice.
Like what you got?
What I got? Well, I'm working on a new EP. I just released an album called Austin Ease, which is really nice. The next piece is called Begin Anew, which is so beautiful. It's coming out on April 5th, and that's like
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
yeah.
Begin anew.
Yeah, begin anew. And what else am I working on? I'm working on so many things. I'm working with a cool toy company for their brands.
Okay.
I've been working on some video games, trailers.
Fantastic.
Sick.
You got a full slate.
Yeah, and then of course Boom Chicago shows. Like anybody who's in Amsterdam or comes to Amsterdam or to Europe and then decides, hey, let's take a little trip. Please come by because it's so much fun and like there's a big festival coming up, the 31st anniversary. Oh, I have 5 shows with Peacock in concert.
Dr. Peacock.
Yeah, that's gonna be incredible. They're all in Europe.
Where's the best place people can follow you?
On Instagram?
Instagram?
Yeah, I think at Sacha Hoedemaker.
Wonderful.
SachaHoedemaker.
Hey, yo.
We also
Yeah.
did want to shout out your amazing, like this is sort of off topic, but your amazing YouTube series that you won an
Oh,
Emmy for
right.
with
Yes.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I just wanted to make sure that people knew
That
that like
is-
you were involved with this because What a cool project.
It was in, let me quickly, I just want to talk about that because it's just, that was
Please
such
do.
okay, so what I did was all the shows were canceled. I just graduated. It was March 4th when I graduated. March 12th, the country closed. I was like, oh, okay, now we can't do shows. I'm doing shows 6 nights a week. Like, it's literally, my life. I was like, I gotta do something. So I started on like with my phone and my piano, and I was like, hey everybody, welcome to Lockdown Music Day 1, where you get to decide what I play. So I just decided doing that. Let's do a 30-day challenge to myself. Like everybody started doing 30-day challenges, or like because it won't take that much longer, right?
We'll be back by Easter.
We'll be back. I love that. Exactly. So it's like I was so excited to like do that, and okay, it lingered on past April. I was like, okay, I should do something else. So I looked up like creative ways to make music, and I found this thing called HitRecord, which was Joseph Gordon-Levitt's project that he started with his brother. Such a beautiful story. And I was like, I want to create stuff with them. So I signed up, and I started just like improvising to pictures, videos, whatever people had or needed music to. Like you can request like, hey, I need music for my little animation that I made, and people will do that. And not everything is great, but like it's being made, and so you get an idea and you get to collaborate and work together, and some of the things are really good and really fun. And so there was this story going around about the class of 2020 never really getting to graduate really, and there was this beautiful music teacher, a beautiful story that wanted to do more, and so he created like a music video and songs and everything, and he wanted people to collaborate on it. And I was working on a different kind of thing, a project, and then because of this class of 2020, Joseph Gordon-Levitt asked was asked to do a YouTube original series by YouTube. And one of the things that I had created from a picture inspired a choreographer to make a dance that inspired a lot of people to dance, to do tap dancing, to do regular dancing, to expand on that. So one picture led to all these things, which was sort of also the creative glue of what HitRecord is all about, and that got picked up to be one of the side like stories of these episodes, and my music was used obviously, and they expanded the music a little bit. The whole production team, shout out to them because they're absolutely amazing creatives. They expanded on my music as well, and there was this just a small like 6 minute or something segment on that, and it's 6 episodes, and my music was used in it. And then they won an Emmy for the most innovative thing as the 72nd, I believe, Emmy, Primetime Emmy. And I have this little golden certificate sitting in my thing, and I'm like, well, that's happened during the pandemic. That's ridiculous. Like it's so beautiful, and not just for the Emmy, but just to be able to do that with people from all over the world. And you can see like, it's absolutely amazing. It's stunning. And I feel really blessed. And I think that's what actually pushed me over the edge and led to my road to happy of being like, well, if that's possible, what else? Maybe I should put my own stories out there and should tell the world about me and who I am, because I've always been in service of, as an improviser, I've always been in service, musical improviser, in service of what's going on. Yeah. And so I never really spoke out about myself. And this was actually the first time that I did. And then I became an artist. And then I got my music on Peaceful Piano. And then I had like 400,000 monthly listeners. And it was like, what's happening right now? And that was in the span of a year. And I was like, this is weird. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
wow.
So
I love that he's running the episode.
I'm obsessed.
Now. Yeah.
I'm like just in awe. Okay.
Yeah.
We walking down the road to happy.
Road to happy.
We walking down the road to happy. You never know what could happen.
Know what could happen
when you're walking down the road never know what could happen to you when it's March of 2020 and you're on the YouTube and you see something. You say, wow, that is music plus wit. And I think the man behind it's Joseph Gordon-Levitt. So I'ma give it a hand and I'ma play my tunes. And then it turns out to a picture that my music they will use. This is crazy. And now it's 6 episodes online. And oh my gosh, now that Emmy, well, that Emmy is mine. On the road to happy. To happy. We're walking down the road to happy. Road to happy.
Okay, yo, March 2020. I'm sitting on my keister.
Okay.
30 days of music, and it'll be back by Easter. No problem. I'm gonna say, oh my lord, it's time to check this out. What is HitRecord? I'm gonna make some tunes, and then some people will be dancing, and then maybe those people will be singing romancing with the musical gods. The muse is not abusing a lot, and then we're gonna make the music so hot. Let's do it a lot.
Road to happy. Road to happy. We're walking down the road to happy. Road to happy.
Hit it, Sasha.
That's the sound of 400,000 downloads.
A month.
On the road to happy. Road to happy. We're walking down the road to happy. You never know what could happen. Know what could happen.
Sometimes that road is J Street.
Sometimes that road is J Street.
If you say yes.
We're back on the. That's the C minor.
It all comes back to the
road
J.
to happy.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Sasha. You are a genius. I could do this all day, but
Yeah.
Seth Meyers is waiting for
You gotta
you.
go.
I don't know.
Thank
I
you
feel
so
like
much,
you gotta go.
Sasha Hoedemaker, the very best.
Oh, thank you
Follow
so
him
much.
on Instagram. Thanks so much. And if you enjoyed this episode of the North Coast Podcast, please rate and subscribe, like
Smash it.
on subscribe on YouTube and rate and review on Apple Podcasts. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Sasha.
Thank you so much. Yeah.